All right, welcome everybody to episode 1 of the Buck Fever podcast. I'm Noah. This is Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Ready for this.
I know. I'm excited. This is kind of a big thing for us. We just started our channel in August, I think.
Yeah, we posted the first video.
And I think we had it up for like a month before our first video.
Yeah.
Put the first one out. We've probably done like 10.
Around there.
But we never really got a chance to talk and introduce ourselves and kind of talk about the story of our whole channel. So this should be fun for us. I mean, let's just start by that, talking about the start of our channel.
So yeah, Noah and I, we live in a pretty small town of like, 6,000 people, less than 6,000 people. So we've been friends, we went to school our whole lives and we've been friends for a while now. I'm a senior in high school still, and he's a freshman in college, and we live pretty close together, and we obviously both enjoy the outdoors a lot. So we thought, hey, let's start a YouTube channel, and then pretty much from there, it kind of just started, and we've been hunting. The last 2 years, we've been hunting a lot together, so looking into the next year, we're going to be hunting a lot more together, like filming each other, so.
I mean, I remember we sat right here to get our channel going.
Mm-hmm. In August, we made it right here.
We came up with our name and got our logo going.
Which took forever, the name.
I know. The name, we could not decide on a name. That was like our biggest hang up the whole time. By the way, I kind of owe a shout out to my girlfriend, who you guys might have saw in our last video, the ice fishing one. She caught some nice fish. And her brother, Jack. They helped us in the beginning with the name, the logo, all of that. These sweatshirts that we're wearing.
Yeah,
that's pretty much.
This would not exist right now because we're not very tech savvy.
Right,
with that,
that's pretty much all them. So go check out that video too, the ice fishing one. It's a pretty good one. But yeah, I mean, we sat right here in this spot, just trying to come up with everything. We didn't have anything. We had some footage, but nothing very good. I mean, we
just on like GoPros.
Yeah, it was just
older GoPros too.
Flying by the seat of our pants, just setting it up, just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about it for at least a year, and it was always kind of like not a joke, but kind of a lighthearted, like,
we should do it.
Yeah.
Never did, and now we finally did, and we really enjoy it.
And the biggest day for that was when we went turkey hunting together.
Yeah, I took Noah turkey hunting. You've never really been turkey hunting that much?
No.
I go a lot with my dad and uncles, and we went in, when was that, May?
Yeah, it was
like
spring.
First week of May.
Yeah.
So I took Noah out turkey hunting for the first time, and we both ended up shooting a tom, so that was pretty cool. We failed to get them both on video.
Well, the one would have been.
Noah's, we didn't even take the camera because we were just trying to get him his first one, and mine, two toms came in, and he was filming the right one, and I shot the left one, but it was still fun. We both got birds, so.
And you were a little ahead of me, so we couldn't talk about it. I just kind of
quick. We saw them, and they were in by us within like 2 minutes, so it was a quick one.
Yeah,
but we're not gonna let that happen this year. We're gonna.
Oh no!
Make sure we're on the same page.
No, we're on it now. But the whole car ride home, we were just talking about we gotta start our channel. We gotta, just all of that. And that was like the first time that we really thought, yeah, we're gonna do it. So by the way, let's crack these open.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, if you would like to sponsor us, we would.
Yeah, we'll take it.
We both love
Mountain Dew. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, but I'm okay. Cheers.
Always, never early for Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So the elephant in the room is kind of these deer in the room. So do you want to talk a little bit? Neither one of these deer are mine, unfortunately. These are both Jake's. Shot a couple years ago, I think.
2017, I believe. I was a freshman. So that one obviously is with the bow. It's got a way lighter coat. Opening day of bow season, we named him Showtime because he was on camera basically every day coming through the spot that I knew he was. So the wind just happened to be perfect with, I think it was a south wind. It was pretty warm that day, like 75 degrees, which it usually is on opening weekend. So I went down there. My dad and uncle said I can go sit there. So I went down there, saw a few does and fawns pretty early, and then he came through at about 6:30, and I got it on film with my GoPro. It's really hard to see, but he was basically standing straight away from me, and I got him to stop, and he turned and looked to his left, and he opened his left front leg out a little bit, and I snuck it right between there and out his brisket, and he ran 100 yards and fell over. So yeah, that was my first real mounter buck. I've shot a few other ones, but nothing that big. That's a 3.5. So he scored 119. He did break that other brow tine off like 3 days before I shot him, taking his velvet off. So,
and this one is on our channel.
Yeah,
I think they both are actually.
No, not this one. That one is.
Okay, not that. Just this one is in our intro video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was a fun hunt.
We got a really pretty coat on.
Yeah, it was super warm, so we had to like clean them out and everything right away and cape them. So, yeah. Then this one was the same year. So I had a pretty good year. And opening day of gun season, me and my cousin were sitting over. We were in separate stands over a big like 18-acre field with a big bedding area behind it, and there was deer running all over the place in the morning before it was even light out. And right as it broke dawn, I saw a 2.5 chasing a doe run into the woods, and then like 5 minutes, there was deer everywhere, and then like 5 minutes later, the 2.5 came chasing, or he came chasing a doe, which I thought was a 2.5, but then like right after he ran out, the 2.5 ran out, so I was like, okay, that's not the same buck. So I put the scope on him, saw the brow tines, and realized that I was a shooter, and just as he ducked into the fence line, I shot him, hit him in the liver. So we had to let him lay. I jumped him. I was stupid and got down 45, like a half hour after I shot him, because I didn't know if I hit him or not. So I went down, he was laying in the fence, I jumped him, he ran into the neighbor's, or he didn't really run, but he walked into the neighbor's property. So we let him lay for 4 hours, got permission to go in there, and he was dead within like 120 yards of where I jumped him from. So this one scored 121. We also had this deer on camera at the beginning of the year, but that was it. We didn't really have him throughout the rest of the year, just in the summertime. So he wasn't really familiar with us, but obviously these are noticeable, so that's where we went back and looked and saw those. So yeah.
And that was 2017?
Yes, I believe so. I was freshman year, so yeah, 2017.
Well, this past season was 2020, so it has been a couple of years now since we've done anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't shot any bucks since this one.
Yeah, we got to get back on that. And these were both found together on a property that was owned by my grandpa. He sold it, but he and my brother were shed hunting, obviously, just walking through the woods, and they found them just like this, perfect set, right next to each other. The deer must have just dropped them off in his sleep or something. I mean, it was right in a bedding area, so just dropped them off there, and that was a pretty cool find. Probably the best sheds that we've ever found. I don't know about you. You have one set that's pretty big, but
yeah, it's all chewed up though. Squirrels got to it before I found them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is honestly,
it's a good set.
Symmetrical set. You
Yeah.
probably would score the same on both sides, so really good deer.
Yeah. But that land is gone now, so we don't have a chance to get after him anymore. But
we'll be going shed hunting in like a couple months now. Once snow melts here, like March probably, we'll get out there and go shed hunt.
Well, and somebody decided to injure themselves.
Yeah, that's why we don't have as many videos. Like, we would have probably had a lot of small game videos out by now, but I recently had surgery on my knee, so I'm sidelined for a little bit, but I'll be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully. It just might be a little gimpy, but
you're recovering pretty quickly.
Yeah, so
I mean, yeah, you'll be back in no time.
So we'll have some small games videos and shed hunting videos and turkey hunting, a lot of turkey hunting. There's 6 seasons, obviously, in Wisconsin, if you're not from there. There's 6 seasons. I have first, and I'll probably get third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And you can, in my zone, you can buy like multiples, or there's usually leftovers. So
the turkeys are just piled up.
Yeah, there's a lot of turkeys around where I hunted. So
they are everywhere.
We'll hopefully get some good videos of me and my dad, my uncle, aunt, you.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm excited for that.
A lot of videos coming up. So,
well, this past deer season, I kind of had one deer that I was chasing pretty much the whole time. The buck that I called Albert, and I called him that because of Fat Albert, because he looked really fat. I mean, he looked like he was a well-fed deer.
Very.
And he was not the biggest buck that we've ever had on our property, but definitely the biggest buck that we've had in daylight regularly during the season.
That you've seen.
Right, I mean, I got him on camera quite a few times actually, and he never presented a good shot, and my brother actually did take a shot at him, might have hit him, might not. We saw a trail cam picture that looked like he had been shot, like right in the top of the back, but we couldn't necessarily tell if that was
could have been from fighting
or
just anything.
It could have been anything, but
he's alive, or he was alive recently.
Yeah,
we saw him from that, so it's not like he was.
Yeah, so
he wasn't hurting too bad.
No, he lived through that easily, and we saw him a couple times even after that. But he kind of wised up a little bit, and that was our fault. I mean, we hunted him a little bit too hard, and he got a little bit too smart, and so we'll see. I mean, hopefully he comes back next year. We had 2 summer bucks that looked really nice. Both got shot by the neighbors, so congrats to them, I guess. But also it sucks for us because we watched them all summer. And you could just tell right away, when you put those cameras out and you first start to see them develop their antlers, you can just tell when you got some good ones. And we just watched them keep going, and it was always exciting to go check the cameras to see, like, what are they doing now? Did they get a couple more points? Are they, they put on a bunch of mass, and we had some really good pictures of them. And then, I mean, right about as soon as the season hit, they were gone. And apparently they ran up to the neighbors and they got shot. But other than that, I mean, I saw some younger bucks, some does, just not a whole lot for my season. But you at least saw a bunch.
Yeah, I saw a bunch. A little bit more disappointing.
Well, yeah.
So we had probably we were kind of hunting like 3 different bucks throughout the year. 3 or 4 that were on our property that we knew of. And we have a ton of does, and they do some serious crop damage. So I shot 2 does right away. My dad shot a doe, and then we shot a couple more with the gun. So there's a ton of does, and that kind of, during the rut, there's a ton of does, so that means the bigger bucks just kind of get locked down and don't really chase as much. But actually, this year I had probably one of the best years I've ever had during the rut with seeing deer. I also got to hunt a lot more with the whole COVID thing. So the first weekend when the rut started around here in like late October, I saw a buck we call Freak Nasty, which you guys have probably seen if you've seen the channel. We'll throw some pictures up, but he was chasing a doe. I had him at 40 yards, but I saw him for about 10 seconds, and he was running the whole time. So that was my first encounter with him. And then I believe the next night, right before dark, it started to snow. And I'm pretty sure I saw him again in a different spot, but just way farther away, and there was no point. He wasn't coming in. So then a week goes by. My dad and uncle hunted the whole time. They saw a few bucks, but nothing close. And then that next week, it got super warm in Wisconsin. It was November 6th. It was like 75 degrees.
Yeah.
It was super warm.
It was just weird.
And I always say, can't kill him from the couch. So I went out. It was a Friday. It was 75 degrees, and nobody else was out. And I went out and ended up seeing a shooter buck we call Goliath. And that video's up, but he was coming in, almost had him, dove, cut into the woods at 40 or 55 yards, and then all I needed was 15, 20 more yards, and I would have took a shot, but so he ended up actually breaking almost. He broke both his G4s and his G3 and a brow tine off. So he was still alive during gun season for us, and he was off limits. We weren't going to shoot him. And so my uncle and my dad both passed him up. They saw him with the gun, and the neighbors ended up shooting him 10 minutes after my uncle passed him. So that one kind of sucked. And then earlier in the bow season, we had a buck called Hightower that we had all summer long. He was probably in the 140s. He was probably hard to tell, but he was a mainframe 10, symmetrical, everything, and we'll throw a picture up.
He might have been 150.
He was a good one, and he was on there, same camera, consistently coming in like 3 times a week. So we were really careful over there, and only went in there with the perfect wind. We didn't shoot any does over there. And then one day he just stopped showing up, and we're like, okay, maybe he got kicked out or by a bigger buck or something like that, or he just stopped coming over there. Turns out the neighbor shot him like first week in October, so that was another one that really hurt because we were really chasing that buck. Then we had another one we called Houdini, who showed up early in the beginning of the summer, or it might have been August. He was like a 12 or 13, he had a lot of points going on. He showed up, we had 2 pictures, and then he was gone till like November. Showed back up in November.
But you've had him a couple years.
Yeah, we think so.
And he's kind of done that every year.
Yeah, so we had him, and then he showed back up, and saw him for had a couple pictures of him on camera, and that was it during the rut. Never saw him. And then the Sunday of opening weekend for gun season, the neighbors killed him a quarter mile away from where I was sitting that morning. So that was the 3rd buck on our property that they killed, or that we had on camera that the neighbors killed. But that's what happens. You can't do anything about it. So,
but Freak Nasty lived.
Yeah, Freak Nasty was the one that I've seen. Me, my dad, and my uncle, who all hunt the property, all saw him. But he lived, and we might go check the cameras this weekend. He's been on there every time we checked it. He was on there like the 31st. So hopefully, when he drops his antlers, we'll be able to find them.
Right. I mean, based on where we think he lives,
he doesn't move very far. He's an older buck. I think he's 4.5 just because of his body, and he's just really wide. So, but the neighbors did end up shooting 2 other bucks that we did not have on camera that I probably would have shot. So there's a lot of deer around that we just didn't get a shot at. So, and opening day we had one. I had one of gun season where it was a buck we had early in the year again. Only 1 picture, nothing. Didn't really think much about him because it was super early. He was ended up breaking off like 5 points, so I could have shot him, but I'm like, he's missing a lot of rack, so I let him go. But other than that, it was pretty slow gun season. Didn't see much. So.
But you had one. Wasn't it after gun season that showed up?
Oh yeah, then we had another one that showed up after gun season. That was he would have been a shooter this year. I think he was a 10 with a broken brow. Every deer we had on camera this year had something broken off, so they were really fighting. But yeah, so there's 2 bucks for sure that were on our property late in season that will be studs next year if they make it. And then there's a good bunch of young ones that are up and coming. So
right, I mean, Freak Nasty, he'll be an absolute stud next year.
Hopefully he stays around.
If you can get your hands on him, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just to find his sheds this spring or winter, whenever we go, whenever you're healed up and ready, that'd be pretty sweet. It'd be interesting to see how wide they really are, because I mean
I think me and my dad and uncles think they're around 19-ish. Maybe 20, but that'd be pushing it. It's hard to tell on the cameras, but
he's really wide. And that one that I had in the summer was super wide.
Yeah.
He's probably 18.
Mm-hmm. Freak Nasty didn't show up. It was kind of so Hightower was gone, and we didn't have any pictures of him. And then Freak Nasty showed up as soon as he was gone, and we didn't have any pictures of him until November or October 7th. He showed up. So it was nice to see him. Sucked that Hightower's gone, but I don't know if there was a dominance thing there where he didn't come in until he was gone kind of thing or what. But
and we hunted a couple times together this year, and I don't think any of it made it onto the channel.
Yeah, we just saw a couple of does, nothing. We were trying to shoot a doe because there's too many of them, but we never ended up. But that was kind of spur of the moment. We didn't really have anything.
We took Sean.
Yeah, we took Sean one time, but that didn't really work because I had just tore my meniscus, so we were kind of
that was limited. Like right after.
Yeah, we were kind of limited of what we could do.
So we all just
sat on a ground blind, and it was pretty cold. But we saw a little buck and some fawns.
Right at the end there.
We were going to try to get our friend Sean a deer. He's never shot one, so. Yeah, but this next upcoming year will be better because we're going to hang some stands on my property where I hunt the 2-man stands where he can film or I can film or so.
Because that was one of our things, every time we wanted to go, we had to make sure we had a setup that was going to work. And
I'd have to hang a stand the week before and hope that the wind would be right for it. So,
it was kind of just a guessing game for us for a lot of that when we wanted to try to hunt together. Did you go to my land?
Not this year. I did not.
No, that was.
I hunted. So with the whole COVID thing, I'm still in high school, so I played sports, but football got canceled in the fall, and they moved it back, so I had nothing to do in the fall, like no sports. So I really took advantage of that and went hunting. I think I bow hunted 35 times.
That's insane.
Or something like that. So I hunted a ton, and basically almost every weekend I was up there. And Bill, when he would go, I was at my land hunting, so we never really went, but...
And it's crazy when you think about that too, because if you added up all of the time of our videos, there's for deer hunting, there's maybe an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah, so I put in a lot of time. I know you have what, a 3-hour drive?
It's a little less than 3 hours.
So they don't get to go as much. I only have an hour-ish, so, and I can stay over at my uncle's cabin, so, he's got quite the hike to get up there, so they don't go as frequently, but, yeah, we put in a lot of hours, and just goes to show you that you don't see deer or get what you want to see on film all the time. So, but I enjoy going a lot. So,
35 days, and that's without any of the target practice. I mean, all summer long, you got all of that, and just all the.
In the summer, we put in food plots, and so does Noah. But we'll go up there. You'll see some videos of that this summer. We'll be up there.
Yeah.
We're gonna expand some food plots, make them bigger and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I put in a lot of time. So does Noah. We both really check cameras twice or once every 2 weeks in the summer, going up there and scouting and planning and everything like that. But that's why we do it.
Yeah. So what are your big plans for this summer with taking your land and your food plots and just trying to change things up so they work a little better?
Make one a lot bigger. Well, I shouldn't say a lot bigger, but enough to where you can get the deer want to stay in there. It's right in the middle of a bedding area, kind of in the middle of a bedding area. You can slip in there. With I think it's an east wind, you can get in there, but it's kind of iffy. You got to be really quiet to get in there, so we don't hunt it a lot. But the deer love it in there because it's really thick. So we're gonna make that. I'm gonna make that one bigger. Maybe make one more new one, depending on it. But other than that, then it's just to hang the stands and then hanging some doubles. So even I can go up there and I can have somebody film if you're up at your land and.
You brought up a good point there because you have a whole bunch of stands. How many stands do you have? 12?
13, I believe. 12 or 13.
So you kind of hunt it based on the wind, which if you have the ability to do that, that's kind of the way you want to go.
There's usually the max there's me and my dad and my uncle could all be out there at the same time. So we have 3 stands for each wind, basically.
Right. So, but for us,
we're on
a smaller property, and so we kind of just it'll be me and then my brother and my dad. Sometimes my grandpa we'll get out. He actually got injured as well. He dropped a manure spreader onto his foot, so he crushed a whole bunch of bones in his foot, and he had a nasty recovery as well, but he's doing just fine now. But, we kind of are limited in where we can sit, so I pretty much just have one like all-purpose stand. That's where I'm always going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got to move mine now, because if you saw in the videos where I'm at, it's kind of out in the open.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of right in the middle of everything. I'm on that food plot, and I've got a pond there, but it's still kind of, anytime a deer comes out, they can kind of see right where I'm at, and it looks a little bit funny. And I had some close-up footage. I mean, I had videos of deer in the plot walking right next to me, but a lot of it is those younger bucks. And I think for an older one, especially like Albert, or any of those older bucks, they're going to be a little bit smarter on that. And so I think I got to move my stand back into the tree line a little bit more. And I think in that spot, wind will be a little bit less of a factor.
Yeah, it's hard for you because you guys have at the most 3 people. If your group comes 4 people hunting like a 40 acre,
yeah,
more than 40 acre plot, which is hard because you can't just spread everybody out.
And 20 acres is like cornfield.
Yeah, so basically you're hunting 20 acres with 3 people, which is really hard to do. And usually with the wind, somebody's gonna get screwed with their wind blowing. If your wind's blowing towards your dad or something like that.
Well, the day that Ben, my brother, took a shot at Albert, we all saw him. That's when he went by me first. He was like 40 yards and behind some brush, so no shot. Then he went past my dad, no shot. Then he went past Ben, he took a shot. But, when you do that to a deer and he gets all of that scent and just all of the, he went by 3 setups where things were a little bit off, like they can kind of sense that, and then getting shot at. And if he did get hit, that's obviously going to spook him a little bit. If he didn't,
for a couple days,
yeah. So we kind of,
it's just tough when you got little property, little land with lots of people.
Right, but I do think he was living down kind of by the river on our property for a while. He either left or got shot at one point, but I do think for the longest time he was living on our property. And it's been a good property as far as seeing big deer. It's just usually really early season.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be in the summer, and then the first couple of weeks of bow season, that's kind of our chance. That's our opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
The best one, anyways. I mean, it can happen at any point. My dad shot one a couple of years ago with a gun. So, and that, when the neighbors do a deer drive, they do one every year that's massive. They have a ton of people driving, so they kick up deer all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we hopefully try to time that out where we'll be in the woods when they do that. And then, sometimes that works out in our favor. But yeah, this year it was no bucks, no does for us. And I kind of wonder about that too, because I don't think we've shot any deer on that property in a while. And it's not that we couldn't, it's just that we've been waiting for other ones, especially with bucks.
Yeah.
But we may have to take some does, because this year, with the food plots that we had in there, now we have pictures of like 8 or 9 does.
But your food plot you planted was amazing. What was it? Was it Frigid Forest?
It was by Frigid Forage. It was called Big and Beastie. It's a really good mix. I mean,
a picture they were showing, because there's some really big.
Well, you had turnips that came up that were bigger than softballs. I mean, yeah, and you could tell now all the leaves on top, all the greens are eaten right down, and now the bulbs that were below, they pawed them up, and you can see bite marks. I mean, they've been hitting it really hard. For whatever reason, our camera died that was watching that plot, so it's back up now. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it, because we didn't get to check it at the time. We didn't find out that it died until we got home. But when we set it up, I mean, it had battery, it was on. The card was in it right, so hopefully I'll have that up and we'll get to see at least a little bit. But now it's going to be pretty slow. I mean, once the winter hits, December, January, we rarely see much for winter activity. So, when do you think they're going to start dropping antlers?
We have a couple already that you can tell are that were bucks that just have the big blocky brick head with some little holes. But I mean, it all depends. If it's more stressful, like really cold,
right?
Well,
which it hasn't been.
Yeah, it's not really been a really harsh winter. It all depends. Usually, like the bigger ones, I'm hoping like a freak. If he drops one, he'll probably drop the other one,
right?
Because he won't want that lopsidedness. But they're starting to drop already. So I mean, it's whether or not we can go look for them when the snow kind of
wait for it to melt a little bit.
If we don't get a ton of snow, I mean we haven't even got over a foot.
Yeah, that's been light too.
Rarely we usually have a ton of snow.
Yeah,
but probably, I don't know, March maybe is when I went and found those ones last year.
Yeah, we did find a couple.
Mm-hmm.
We found a whole dead buck, didn't we?
We found a buck that was...
He probably got shot and just ran a ways.
Or maybe got hit by a car and just made it into the woods or something.
Did you ever go back and get him?
Yeah, I got his rack sitting outside, letting the skin and all that kind of decay, and then I'll take the European mount or do something like that with it.
And it was just some smaller ones that we had some mice kind of got to, or squirrels.
I found that big set that was, I'll throw a picture up, but that was the biggest sheds I've ever found. We had that deer on camera last year, and he was.
Yeah, those were some nice ones for sure. But yeah, with this weather that we've been having, it really has not been the greatest for making good ice to go ice fishing. But we did have the opportunity to go to my grandparents' lake house up in Hayward, Wisconsin.
Way up north.
It's about as far north as you can go before you hit the UP. But they had, must have been 12 inches of ice up there.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it was really good ice, but it was cold as all get out. I mean, there was one day where for like a couple hours the sun was shining and the wind wasn't too bad and it was pretty nice. But other than that, it was windy, it was cold.
Snowy.
It wasn't like heavy snow, but there was quite a bit of time where it was snowing, pretty constantly. But we did catch some good fish. We tried to hunt. We saw a whole bunch of does, no bucks, and nothing really in daylight. But we did catch a lot of fish. That video's up. It's a pretty good one.
You're more of the ice fisher than I am. I'm not a big...
Right. Have you gone ice fishing?
A few times. I was younger. I sturgeon and spear. That's about it with the ice. So.
Which that's hopefully going to be.
Yeah, if I can.
I mean, you never really know, right? Sometimes they'll cancel it all together.
Well, I don't think they ever really cancel it. It's kind of you go at your.
Okay.
Like if you want to go, you can go, but you might have to take 4-wheelers and stuff. But if it just stays cold and if it doesn't stay in like the 30s or 36 where it's like it's like right in between, then it gets really wet out. But if there's enough ice, I'll go. So hopefully we'll have some videos of that.
And that's a big deal around here.
Well,
that's kind of
like the only place you can really do it in.
Right, Lake Winnebago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Meat Eater.
Yep.
The show, Steve Ranella, they came to Fond du Lac.
Yep.
And went on Bago to go sturgeon spear. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal, and there's, like you said, I mean, can you do it like in other states? Is that even a thing?
Maybe way up north. I don't know if they.
Yeah, I
don't know.
I know it's really big here, and it's super like regulated. I mean, they are, because you don't get that many as a community. Like there's not a whole lot that get speared.
They're pretty. This will be like my 6th or 7th year, and I've seen one fish my whole life.
Right, it's pretty rare to be able to get one, so it is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen my uncles and dad have got them and stuff, and so.
But they keep track of that. I mean, every day. Like usually they set a limit. They say like we want to spear this many.
If you spear, if it's a really good year, like sometimes the season's like I can't remember how many days it is. It might be 16.
Yeah, but they'll shut it down.
Yeah, if they spear a certain amount of fish on the second day of the season, they'll close it all together, and because they're not like just not an abundance of sturgeon, so they kind of regulate it. And you can you can send in to go for upriver, which is in Lake Poygan in Oshkosh, which is it's kind of like you have a way better chance of seeing and spearing one up there. But it takes you like it takes a lot of years to draw a tag. So I got like 4 preference points. So within a couple of years, hopefully I can go up there. But
yeah, we'll have to get you out on the ice to go.
Oh yeah,
ice fishing a little bit. We went. My dad and my brother and I went. I think it was this week, I think, and we went on Lake Emily. It's about an hour away, maybe a little bit less. My dad caught like 12 bluegills. Ben and I caught nothing. We had a guy with a tip up that was maybe 20 yards from where we were sitting. And I mean, our tip ups were all kind of right there. And he had one hole that caught like 6 northerns while we were there.
Really?
I mean, it was an absolute hot spot. Nothing of like big size, but he caught a whole bunch right there. We didn't catch any northerns. Ben and I didn't catch anything, but we had a camera that we set up to go like down the hole so you can see your bait that you're jigging. And so, I mean, we saw tons of fish. We saw bluegills, perch, crappies. We saw 4 northerns swim past our camera, but we had, I don't know, Ben and I each had like a bluegill that latched on and we got it up to the hole and then it spit it out or whatever. But that was another cold day and we forgot the heater. But yeah, we'll have to get out there, but making ice, that's been kind of the biggest thing, because then it got cold, but then it warmed up a little bit and then it did snow. And
it hasn't been the coldest as usual, but
that's
you and your dad and brother, you like to go fishing on like open water a lot too,
right?
Which is we'll have videos of that.
Yeah, Ben got into casting for bass and northern. That, I mean, last year really is when we hit it hard, but maybe the year before even he kind of got into it. But we've been doing quite a bit of that. Some at the lake house, and then sometimes around here. But yeah, that's kind of how we spend our summers. But I mean, there's nothing to hunt, so.
Yeah, I just don't get into fishing as much, but I'll go. I like it.
Are we gonna try and shoot a coyote?
Yeah, we're trying to shoot a lot of stuff. Go shoot some squirrels, rabbits, raccoons.
Right, we gotta go pretty quick because they're not open.
Yeah, we might not be able to get squirrels, but rabbits are open till like end of February.
Well, last year we had the hardest time trying to kill a crow. We could not kill a crow to save our lives. I mean, we set up a speaker, like, just out in the field, and playing, dying rabbit sounds?
Or just crow, you can look up crow calling.
Right, and crows would come in, we didn't have any decoys, didn't have the greatest setup, but those suckers are smart. I mean...
hard to kill.
Yeah, we got some shots at some. But we couldn't not kill a single crow.
We want to kill one just to prove it, because
they
haven't killed one, so.
Right, that's like the one thing we've gone after. We spent multiple days
out there
trying to shoot crows.
I think their season runs like longer when everything else gets closed down, like they're open.
Right, I think we had nothing to do.
So we went, and this is right when COVID hit, so nothing was open, and so we just went out to the woods and did that, looked for sheds. So.
Yeah, that was good stuff. What else do we have coming up? Anything?
I'm looking forward to turkey hunting. That'll be really fun. There'll be a lot of videos of that, hopefully.
That is going to be really fun. I mean, you and your dad, that's one video that's in our intro.
Oh, yeah, me and my dad we shot 2 at once. We've done that twice.
Right. Yeah.
We did that at another property we were hunting, and we killed like 6 toms there last year and saw a pile of them, so.
You just had some good stories from that too. I mean, the one that you shot and then it dropped and then it got up and you ran after it.
I shot the one with my dad last year, like 4th season maybe. So that was like the end of April or early May. Not really sure. Right in there sometime. My dad, we used to sit in like a blind and put out decoys and all that. And then when I started getting older, I kind of convinced them to use an old turkey fan. And if you get the toms at the right time, like if they're usually by themselves, or honestly it works almost anytime.
Right.
If you get the fan, you just kind of wave it around like this, or just like the fan, they kind of take it as an insult, and they come almost on a string right to you if they're in the right mood kind of say.
Right.
So that happened. There was birds all over us that morning. It was cold. It was really cold for that morning. It was like 25 degrees, so we were pretty cold. And there were birds gobbling everywhere. And two of them came out the fence line, and my dad and I were sitting on kind of like a hill, looking down into the valley. And we just went like this. Both of them came pretty much straight in, and we ended up shooting them at the same time. So that was earlier. And then the next week, that next week, my dad went out there, killed one before work, I think. Then later on that, a couple days later, that's when I took Noah out there, and we both shot two. Yeah. We both shot one.
Yeah.
And then the last season, I went out by myself, and I was belly crawling through the field after there was like 25 turkeys out there, 2 toms and a bunch of hens. And I waved the fan, I get him to come up, and I just miss. I don't know how, but I missed. He flies off, whatever. So then my uncle was hunting a different property. So I called him, and he's like, I'm like, you want to go try out this other property? So he's like, yeah, sure. So we drive over there. We don't get in the woods more. We're not there for 5 minutes, the two start gobbling. So we sit down, and then I shot 2 that year, and he shot 1, so he was going to shoot first. So we give him a call, and they're coming. One comes in, he shoots it at like 35 yards, drops it. The other one I was with it kind of ran off, runs back, or comes back. Because usually when you shoot one, sometimes if you shoot a tom and there's no time with it, they'll come and like beat it up or like show dominance.
Yeah.
So that one came back, and I shoot, and I must have just hit him low and puffed him because he was flopping around like he was dead. So I started running out there, and he gets up, and I shot at him twice, and he still starts running. So I take off after him, and this is like we were kind of like he ran right into the swamp. So I take off after him. I lose both my boots in the swamp. So I'm running in like knee-high mud in just my socks and pants. Never ended up finding him, so that kind of stinks. I never missed a turkey until that day. I missed 2 in one day. So, but it was fun. A lot of birds.
Well, when you and I went, I thought your fan thing was the dumbest thing I ever heard of.
So did my dad. My dad would not believe in it until we did it.
Right, because you're like out in the open, belly crawling,
moving
around
in the middle of a cut bean field.
Yeah, and all you've got is just this turkey fan that you're just kind of waving back and forth.
Just using it as cover.
That worked perfectly for us. I had a tom with like 3 or 4 hens with it. I mean, the one that I shot, that was kind of like the main man, I guess.
Yeah, he had a lot of hens with him, and he left them, come by us, and ended up coming into like 25 yards.
Well, and then the one that you shot with there was 2 toms, and you just shot the one, but they came right up to where
the other one,
that one was dead.
That's
because
a cool story.
We went to. I shot mine.
We were sitting on the same spot. There's like a hill.
Yeah.
We were on top, and that's kind of like the vantage point because they all go down below, and you can hear them and see them better. And Noah's came out like straight down from us.
Yeah.
And then the hill kind of goes like it goes like this and dips down, and then comes back up. So there's like a kind of like a crater right there. Yeah. And they went in there, so we quick made our move, crawled down there, got out there, whatever, and he popped his head up, and we were probably like 50 yards at that time, and we went like this, and he came right in, and you smoked them, whatever. So then I knew there was a lot more birds around, and it was pretty early in the morning, probably half hour after it opened. So we quick get that one up to the point or the top of the hill, so to say. We had all our gear out there, and
well, we looked across the road. That's the one we were going after, like across the road, still on your property, big time.
Yeah,
we went after him, but then didn't we forget something?
Noah shot his, and we went up to the top of the hill, and that's where you can see everything. And I glanced a tom way down, probably like 700 yards away. But we were gonna go after him because we had nothing else. And
right.
So we crawled down. We walked down the hill. And all we had was our guns. We didn't have the fan or anything like that. So we ran back up the hill, and right as we broke the hill, we had our fan. We just didn't have the camera.
There was something we forgot.
Yeah, we were gonna go get something, and we went back over the hill. And I looked down where Noah's came from. There's 2 more toms out there. So we sat down in the field, waved it around twice. They came running up. Well, they're almost running.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely coming up.
And the one I shot, the bigger one, something was wrong with his foot. It was like he wasn't using it at all.
It was like, his toes were sort of.
So he was like limping, and he was kind of to my left a little bit, and the one that Noah was on was basically right in front of me, which I probably should have shot, but I knew that one was limping, and it was a little bigger. So I shot that one, and that was a pretty cool story. But yeah, so the last probably 4 turkeys I killed have been with a fan. One day, my dad and I are walking through the woods just with the fan. 2 times, saw him, shot him. He's pulled them in from like 300 yards away, just sitting on the hill, and they come in. So.
Well, most people sit in the ground blind.
Yeah, or up against like a tree and kind of wait.
Right, and they might set up like a decoy, or a tom and a hen. And I mean that probably
it definitely works. I'm not saying that it doesn't. It's just I like to go to them instead of them come to me.
Right, and that was magic.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. So
we never spooked one. There was, it wasn't like any of them came in, then they bolted.
The hens didn't spook, they got really good eyesight because I can see like almost all the way around.
Yeah, I mean that's the technique. That's what we're going with. So hopefully this spring we'll be able to get that going a little bit.
I belly crawled through that same field one time and killed one. And then like 5 minutes later, my dad did the same thing, killed one. They just want to they see it and they want to go fight. So,
and they're piled up on your property. I mean,
even around my property,
every time we drive up there, we see turkeys.
Oh,
at some point.
Yeah, they're in big groups right now because of the winter.
Right.
Well, we went and checked cameras last weekend, and we saw like a group of like 50 of them right before the property. So there's definitely no shortage of turkeys. So hopefully we'll have some great luck. And there's like other spots I have permission to hunt around there, and some public not too far that we could go to.
Yeah. Did you fry any of them up yet?
We get them smoked. Our neighbor takes them and smokes them.
Okay.
Because otherwise they're kind of dry.
Yeah.
But
we still have my turkey.
Yep, in the freezer.
We have pheasants.
Pheasants, yeah. We shot some pheasants.
Did that one make it up?
We didn't.
It didn't because it was too windy.
Mm-hmm.
The one where I went with my dad and my brother, and we took Remy, my dog. That one was pretty good. And that one's up, and we got a couple pheasants there. But then we went with you and your dad. And how many did we shoot? Like
5.
Yeah, we did pretty well, and we bought 6, right? So we only.
Yeah, we saw them all, but missed one.
Yeah,
it was really windy and rainy that day, so we weren't.
So that video didn't make it up.
There would have been no point.
But we still have a bunch of pheasants.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to dove hunt.
Yeah, that was kind of spur of the moment thing.
But out at Gabby's house,
yep, we shot a couple.
Tons of doves.
Yeah, we shot a couple.
Right. We got to get on that a little bit more. They say those are really, really good to eat.
Yeah, you just gotta shoot a lot of them.
Right. I mean, they're small, and pigeons out there.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't. What was going on? I don't know. We just didn't hunt it
as
hard as we could have.
Shooting. I was bow hunting all the time.
Right. I think that was still during bow hunting season. So anytime we had a free day, we were going to be out in the woods trying to shoot deer, not doves, I guess.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, how do you feel about Packers?
Glad they got the first round bye.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they probably need that first round bye. I mean,
Get everybody healthy again.
I think, when they play at their best, they can probably beat anybody.
One of their best years they've had in a while.
Right, but it
stinks with Bakhtiari though. That was a big.
Right, that was a big hit.
Team All-Pro. So the Packers have 4 guys on the first team All-Pro.
I know, and if they don't close out games, they've had a couple of them.
Yeah,
they
like to let them back in every team. But.
Yeah, but that's not going to work. I mean, we're probably going to have to beat Tom Brady and the Bucks, probably the Saints, Seahawks. I mean, that's who's going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be. I think we just got to beat 2 out of those 3 teams probably, and then it'll most likely be the Chiefs. So it's kind of it's a tough road ahead, but glad they made it in. Kind of sucks that we don't get to watch them this week, but at the same time, they also can't disappoint us this week.
Yep.
So that makes things a little bit better. So if you guys want to keep supporting our channel, make sure you're subscribed. that's kind of the number one thing. That's the biggest thing you guys can do. You just got to hit that little button up there. If it doesn't let you, that means you just have to log into YouTube. And if you don't have an account already, it's really simple. You just need email, password. I mean, it takes 2 seconds. It's not really that bad. Then you can subscribe. That helps us out a ton. I mean, if you haven't seen some of the videos that we're talking about, go back and check them out because there is some good stuff there. By the way, the gun season video that you had is now our most watched video by like 40 views.
Yeah.
We're up to like 720 some views on that one. So we're gonna try and get that one up to 1,000. We're gonna try and make that one our first 1,000 view video, and that's without actually shooting anything. So hopefully next year we'll be able to put something down for that.
Hopefully in the next couple of videos will be like actual hunting videos and shooting stuff. And
right.
In the summer we're gonna try and get some new camera stuff and make the videos better and
and we're gonna try to podcast more.
Yep.
We'll try to do it like every week, maybe every 2 weeks. I mean, we gotta just have to see how that works out with our
we're both in school
schedule,
and,
and we gotta have stuff to go out and do to be able to talk about it too. But we're gonna try and keep doing that. And if you guys are watching our videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. That's the other big thing. Subscribe, views, thumbs up. Other than that, I guess, just stay tuned and we're going to keep putting stuff out. If there's nothing to shoot or nothing to catch, then I guess we'll just keep talking.
Go look for something, do sheds.
We're going to...
preparing for next year.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff planned. We got a lot of stuff coming up, but it's kind of a waiting game with that. Every time after the season is done, it kind of slows down. And there's things you want to do, but it's also hard in the winter. I mean, you can't really set anything up on your land with snow and frozen ground and whatever. But we got a lot of stuff planned, a lot of things coming up, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
See you guys in the next video.